Hey guys, welcome to your Chapter 7 Lesson 1 notes on zero and negative exponents. By the end of the day, you'll be able to simplify expressions involving zero and negative exponents. And when I say zero, I mean zero as an exponent, also exponents that are negative. Okay, now here is a fun thing. Oh look, there's literally, it's right there, zero as an exponent. Who put that there? I'm going to show you a fun thing. Let's say I have some number n. Okay, that's n. Okay, cool. Now if I multiply n times n, that's two n's, that's n squared. If I multiply by n again, that rhymes. That's three n's, that's n cubed. And you can keep going up and up and up, but you can also go backwards, right? So you notice as you knock off an n, you divide by n basically, then your exponent goes down 1. Okay, you knock off another n, your exponent goes down 1. So this has an exponent of 1. Okay, but that's a 1. But what happens when you divide by n again? So here we're dividing by n. We divide by n. If we divide by n divided by n is 1. Okay, and now that's equal to n. Well, we're going to take the exponent, n minus 1. 1 minus 0 is 0. So that brings me to my fun fact of the day, that it doesn't matter what n is for literally any number, n stands for any number raised to the power of 0 is 1, Okay, so if you have any number to the 0th power, that's 1. 2 to the 0th power, that's 1. Negative 4 to the 0th power, that's 1. 2 to the 0th power times 7 to the 0th power? Well, 1 times 1 is 1. We're often running. Okay, that's 0. Yay. Let's talk about negative exponents. Let's keep going. Let's take this whole pattern and keep going. Watch this. Copy. Paste. Okay, so we've been dividing by n on both sides. Let's keep dividing by n. 1 divided by n is 1 over n. That's going to be equal to n to some power. What did we do with our exponent here? Well, we took 0. We minus 1. So that's a negative 1. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. So when you have negative exponents, that's 1 over that number. I like to think of it this way. So look, if I have n to the negative first power, this minus sign becomes your fraction bar. So that's equal to 1 over n. This works no matter what your negative number is. If you have like n to the negative third power, then that negative becomes your fraction bar. You get 1 over n cubed, just like this. So the exponent goes down, gets carried with whatever number that is. So there you have it. That's your 2 key ideas of the day. Yay. You can think of it as negative as, you know the phrase, turn that frown upside down. That's what you're going to do with an exponent. Turn that frown upside down. When you look at a negative exponent, you want to frown on it. You go, ugh, negative, gross. So you turn that frown, I'm not going to be able to do this. You turn that frown upside down. Yay. That was super special. As you take this, put them upside down, put them under that fraction. So negative exponents means 1 over the thing. Okay. So 9 to the negative second power, gross. We're going to take that negative, that's a 1 over. So it's 1 over 9 squared. 1 over 9 squared is 1 over 9 times 9, which is 1 over 81. So our final answer here is 1/81. 1/81. That's definitely correct. Okay, anyway, so 4 to the third power, we're going to take that negative 3. That becomes our fraction bar. We have 1 over 4 cubed, which is 1 over 4 times 4 times 4, which I ran out of room. 1/64th. Please notice what this does not mean. This does not mean that our number is now negative. Nope, it means dividing. So negative exponent does not mean this is a negative number. It means it's a fraction. Okay. Oh, what is this? What is this abomination? This is math, and we love it. Well, remember, anything to the 0th power, literally anything to the 0th power, is just 1. Okay, so we have 1 times, 5 to the negative first power. Well, that negative becomes a fraction bar, so we have 1 over 5, which is 1/5. Yay. Okay, cool. Now we're just going to keep getting more and more complicated, but we're going to take those complicated expressions and we're going to simplify them. We simplify an expression by saying no negative exponents. We are not negative, only positive. Got to keep it positive, guys. Guess you're not allowed to have negative exponents here. So I look at this and it seems kind of fine, except, oh, shooties McGooties, we have a negative exponent. So we're going to take that and we're going to say, oh, that's like a fraction bar. That's 1 over b squared. It's hip to b squared. So we've got basically 3 ideas going on here. We've got 5 times a cubed times 1 over b squared. Now, 5 is the same thing as 5 over 1. A cubed is the same thing as a cubed over 1. So we can put these all together like one fraction and multiply across. Up on top, we've got 5a cubed all over b squared. Just like that. Hey, look at that. No negative exponents. We're all set. Ooh, you fancy. Look at this guy. Okay. Well, we've got a negative exponent. So what this means is this is 1 over x to the 5th. Wow. Let's look at just this. How did I get there? Okay, so if we take that out and we separate it as just, okay, x to the negative 5th power, that's the same thing as we take our negative, it becomes a fraction bar. That's 1 over x to the 5th. So everything that was in yellow, this denominator, we need to replace the denominator with 1 over x to the 5th. So in the denominator, we've got 1 over x to the 5th. But to divide by a fraction, that's gross. Remember, we can rewrite dividing by a fraction since we have 1 over x to the 5th. That's the same thing as 1 divided by, because this guy right here, that means divide. So we have 1 divided by 1 over x to the 5th. Well, to divide by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So we're going to flip him all around. Oh, and got a 5. So 1, times, you don't need that. Divide by 1, you don't need that either. We're left just with x to the 5th. That's the super long and complicated way to work it. Some of my students in the past have looked at this and they said, hey, can we just think of this as, well, the fraction guy, that's like a minus, so that's like x to the negative 5th power, which is x to the positive 5th power. If you want to think of it that way, that's great. If you don't want to think of it that way, as like 2 negatives canceling out, then don't think about it that way. That's just bonus. Okay, last question. What is the value of 3s cubed t to the negative 2nd power? Excuse me, for s equals 2 and t equals negative 3. Here's my hint. Simplify it first. The first thing you want to do is simplify your expression. And then you're going to substitute s and t in there. Because if we were to substitute first, we would cry. I mean, some of you are more emotionally stable, I guess, but just look at this. 3 times 2 cubed times negative 3 to the negative second power. Ew. Or we cannot do that. What if we simplify it first? What if we have 3s cubed t to the negative second? Okay, and then we look at this. Oh, I used the wrong color scheme. Let's make this blue. Okay. So I look at this negative exponent and I say, ugh, gross. That's the same thing as 1 over t squared, because negative becomes a fraction bar. So we got 3s cubed times 1 over t squared, which is 3s cubed on top, t squared on bottom. And now that we've got that, now I'm going to substitute my values in. I've got my s, I've got my t. T. Okay, so I'm going to substitute that 3 times 2 cubed all over t, which is negative 3 squared. Wink. Well, I'm going to do my exponents first. 2 times, not 2 times 3, that was funny. 2 cubed is 8, so that's exciting. And then down here at the bottom, be very, very careful. This is not negative 3 squared. It's not negative 9. That's not what that is. This is negative 3 times negative 3. And negative 3 times negative 3 gives us a positive 9. So that's that. 3 times 8 is 24. We have 24 over 9. We're almost there. We can actually reduce this because they're both divisible by 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So it gives us a final answer of 8/3. Now that was much easier than trying to figure out what's 3 to the negative second power. Gross. So when you're evaluating, simplify them first, substitute. To simplify an expression, you're not allowed to have negative exponents. Yuck, you need to turn that frown upside down because anything to the negative power is 1 over n to that power. And, oh yeah, anything to the 0th power is 1. Yep, so have a great time on your homework.